Okay, so we got a doozy this time. We're taking a look at the Figma Lancer Altria Pendragon DX version, aka MILF Saber. If you know anything about Saber from Fate Stay Night or Fate Grand Order, you know that she's blonde, she has a sword, and she wears a bunch of armor that's like blue and silver and everything. And, you know, she's like a servant or whatever. So apparently this is a different version of Saber. And everyone says that this Saber is MILF Saber. So she's like the hot MILF version of Saber. Because somehow she managed to grow massive fucking tits. And she just overall looks way hotter. And she's wearing a leotard under the skirt. Like, I'll show you a picture of her character design, like, without the skirt. And then you compare it to this and it's like, oh, so that's what she's wearing under that. So, the funny thing is that this figure, I wanted it for a long while, but I kept passing on it because it was too expensive. This thing usually goes for like over 130 to like 200 in some online retailers, and it's like, nah, I'm not paying that price. But I got super lucky because Black Friday had a sale, so somewhere around 98, basically like $100 something. And that's pretty much the price that you can get for the standard version. And we'll talk about the standard version compared to the DX in a little bit, but I want to talk about the fact that I got this for like basically $100, and it's the DX version, so it's the one that's the most expensive, and I got it for like 40% off or something, like almost 40 to 30% off, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm buying this. Because places like Big Bad Toy Store and other places are selling it for over $160 to $200 something, which I completely don't recommend you buy for that price. Like, there was even a guy on my figure collection putting a listing saying that he's selling it for $150. I don't even think it's worth $150. You have to get it on discount. Which, you know, I don't want to tell you, you know, to not buy something, but if you can get it on sale, I recommend it. Just like I said with the Uma Musume figures, like, get them when they're on sale, because they're already kind of cheap, so get them when they're at their cheapest. Get this when it's at its cheapest. $98 plus tax and shipping? That's a great price, so I'm not going to complain as much as I normally would. But before we talk about the figure, let me show you how big the fucking box is. I just want to show you how oversized this fucking box is, and I'll explain why it's huge before we even do the aesthetics and everything. But, oh my god. Look at this fucking, look, it's so big, it can't even fit in the frame. Let me move this. Look at this fucking box. Why is this box so oversized? For frame of reference, let me grab MILF Saber herself and just put her in front of the fucking box. This is MILF Saber in front of the box. Look at how big the box is for no reason. It shouldn't be this big. Like, what the fuck? This box is like oversized. It's like the King Cold box for SH Figuarts, like that. King Cold box was also ridiculously oversized. This thing is almost the same length. It's like a couple inches off, but it's definitely not the same height. The King Cold box was way taller, but damn. At least King Cold was like a massive figure, so it makes sense, but he had a big chair. This is just like a tiny, normal-sized anime character, and it has a giant horse. It's like, why the fuck is this figure like ridiculously huge? And apparently it's because it comes with this giant horse. That's the difference between the DX version and the regular one. It's her, but with the horse. The horse is the reason it costs more money, and why this box is like so huge. So that's the only thing I wanted to show you. Okay, just to give you a sense of how big the fucking plastic on this thing is and like the packaging. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. Why do you need so much plastic? If you look at the regular box for the Lancer MILF Saber, it's like a normal size Figma box because it comes with the two weapons and then all the other accessories for her. But because it includes the big fucking horse, it's all of this. just for the record, this horse doesn't pose as well as the Arcanadia Elena model kit that I did a speed build of that you'll see by the time this video gets uploaded. But it's still better than the fucking SH Figuarts Griffith figure from Berserk. Like, Bandai gave you a fucking static horse that doesn't move. Whereas Goodsmile at least gave you a horse that can move its legs. And its face, I guess. But it's still not better than a centaur girl that can literally move everything and has big tits. But anyway, look at this. This whole thing here, this giant ass shit right here, this is the damn horse. And then Saber goes in here. Okay. And then the weapon accessories go in here. And then the extra saddle and the stand for the horse so that you can have it stand up. Like, that's it. That's all it comes with. That's all the stuff. Like, look how much empty space there is here. Why do you need all of this? Anyway, that's enough about the box. Let me go back and talk about the figure. So now we're done with MILF Saber's box and everything, and the big horse and everything. Well, not yet, but... So, let's see. She stands at about... I know it's like not 6 inches, but it's like 5 1/8, I think. Which means she's about like under 15 centimeters. So that's not super tall. She's kind of like your average height or close to your average height. Here she is next to gold chip. You can see the gold chip kind of is more or less like almost the same height, but she's slightly taller. You can tell because the hands are a bit longer on Saber versus gold chip. And if I put them side by side like this, you can see that. If I put them side by side, you can see that gold chip is indeed taller. And then the horses. Here's Rice Shower from Musume. Hopefully I can try and squeeze this video in at some point. And I also have speed builds to do, I'm too busy. So anyway, that's all the horses, in case you want to see them. There you go, here she is for scale. And if you need them to be like side by side, something like this. Yeah, so she's not super tall, she's also not super short. Okay, so right off the bat, I want to say that she looks great. Like, I think they captured the likeness of the character extremely well, and they especially captured this. Look at this. Oh, let's zoom in on that. Look at this. Like, damn. They're huge. I don't normally focus on this, like, because, you know, it kind of just speaks for itself, like with the Sophia figure and the Succubus figure, which hopefully I'll have the video up for before the end of the year. I'm not sure, but damn, look at that. Those are huge. Not as huge as some of the other figures, but very impressive nonetheless. Also, it just it just sticks out. Look, like it's just right there. Like it's probably like one of the first things you notice besides the cape, like because the cape contrasts with the red, but it's like bam, right there. I'm not even trying to put it in the center of the screen, it's just right there. Big tits are right there. But anyway, let's actually be serious and actually talk about the aesthetics. Okay, so right off the bat, I think they got the face as close as they could, because in lore, you know, she's like a more mature version of King Arthur after, it's a version of her like where she didn't get the Excalibur, so she didn't end up dying like early on in her young life, like in real life history, or whatever it's supposed to be. So she ended up getting older and becoming way more hot, so this is how she became MILF Saber. But yeah, the interesting thing is that they actually went out of their way to change like the shape of her eyes and everything, because she had like those really tall, kind of rounded eyes and had really big pupils, but they gave her a bit smaller pupils and sharper, like more like not trapezoid. I'm not sure how to describe the shape, but it's like more pointier. And then the eyebrows are completely straight. She has like a royal crown on the top of her head, which sadly you can't remove as part of the hair. But it's really cool because you see it goes all the way to the back. And it's actually like painted in gold color. It's kind of hard to see with the camera because it kind of just blends in with the yellow. But they did a really nice job with that. And then this part is fairly clean. It's a little messy, but it's about as clean as you can do with something that small. And then she has like that little pin right there. I'm not sure how that... How do you pin something like that on someone's hair? Is it like a clip? I don't know. Yeah, you can see like the stern face and everything. I kept thinking she was looking off slightly to the left. To the left side of the screen, to her right. But no, she's not. You can see the cape is really cool. The cape is actually a combination of plastic for the collar and then fabric with a wire in it. It's not as good as like the Rido cape where it can just do whatever you want it to, because it still kind of fights you a little bit, but you can still get it to look dramatic, which hopefully I can showcase in some pictures, but it looks pretty cool. It just flares out so much though, so it kind of gets in the way. like right now I'm trying to like show it, but let's look at the rest of the details. Yeah, they even like sculpted her hair braid because her hair is like all tied all the way back, like a, you know, like the way a queen or a ruler would have, which makes sense because she's basically a ruler at this point. So it looks really cool. You can see it's not even symmetrical. Like they actually made it asymmetrical because, you know, the hair would be tied differently. And then she just has like this one extra strand sticking out here, and then a little bit here on the face. It gives her a really cool and commanding like type of look. Kind of reminds me of Samus, where Samus just has like this really cool look to her, when she just looks serious and everything. So I think it works. Like you can just see she just looks commanding. And then you can see here on the neck, they actually put a little bit of neck here. There's a smudge, I'm not sure where that came from. As long as you don't lift the neck too much, it just doesn't look ugly, but you probably won't notice it because the hair and everything kind of hides it, but we'll talk about that in articulation. But I'm lifting it because I need you to see the rest of the detail. So here, this metal steel collar thing connects to this, to the cape, and then it goes all the way around to this back piece right here. See this piece? This is actually removable. You can take that out, but we'll talk about that later. I'm going to talk about the other details. Yeah, and then here you can see the gold trim for the collar, like for her actual outfit. And then the different lines right here. See, there's one going from like the neck to the collarbone, and then going down, and then this one. And then they connect to this part right here, which wraps around the chest. And then there's another one for another trim right here for where the armpit area is. And then that pattern continues past the chest, going down, and then continuing past here, and then splitting off and going in different directions. So it's really cool. And then it has like this little like feather or whatever pattern this is. And then of course this thing, the giant chest. I think they could have done a bit more to make it like look more like a chest. Like they did a good job sculpting it, but the problem is that since there's no shading or anything in the middle, it just kind of looks like this giant blob of like pale skin. So it's kind of weird. Like obviously from the side, you can see the separation because the shadows are being created naturally. Like, see if I go like this, you can see the shadow, so you can actually see the separation, especially on this side. You can see it right there. But when it's like this and the light is like shining bright on it, even if I use this little pocket light, see, it's kind of hard to tell. Also, this light's very weak right now, but unless I like put shadows on it, you can't see. See how it just kind of like blasts you with like bright light? The tits are too strong. Anyway, the chest area continues with this silver like armor thing that connects like underneath the chest. So it goes here and has this like blue little blue symbol here. Connects with these little extra bits here. And then it all connects to this. And this is done very clean except for like this small little, I don't know what that is. And then look, even the line pattern continues from the armpit area all the way down and then splits here and it continues going down. And I don't know if that's white paint or something, I don't know how that happened. And then this metal piece connects, it has a little thing here, but you won't really notice that, so it doesn't matter. But it connects to the cape, and this part is removable. And I guess now we can talk about it. Let me remove this. So what you, because I didn't see this in other reviews, so what you have to do to remove, also wait, before we do that, the cape fabric is actually not bad. You can see that, I don't know what kind of fabric this is, but it doesn't feel like it belongs to a cape. It feels like it would be like stitched like gloves or something. Not even, like, it looks like the kind of fabric you would use maybe on an oven mitt or just something like handmade or something stitched. It doesn't look like it belongs to a cape, which is really weird. Is that right? Yeah. It doesn't look like it belongs to a cape. It doesn't look very royal. Like, see, it has the sheen like on the underside. Like, I feel like it would look more like this on the outside, because the shine would help make it look more elegant. But it kind of doesn't. So it kind of loses points for that. Like, the underside of it, you see how nice it looks with the shine and everything? Like, it should look more like that. But, I don't know, it just looks kind of plain. But yeah, it looks cool, but it's looks plain. Anyway, real quick, let me remove this, because this back part is connected to a peg right here, and you just pull this top part. So I recommend you actually grab the tits so that you can actually hold the torso, and then you just pull out like this. You have to have a strong pull-out game if you want to take this off of her. There you go. And we'll put that aside for now. You can see the pattern is continued right here on the back of the neck, and then that's how it continues. That's how it starts here, and then it crisscrosses, and then it's supposed to, I guess, keep going. But this part is basically all blue because that back piece. I can't even get it on camera because this back piece right here is supposed to connect to it. So it's basically just working with that, but basically the two holes in the back. So she has two holes, that's nice. Anyway, so that's enough about the torso. The arms, very plain looking, but they do look kind of thick, like she kind of has some mass to them. And I think they kind of did something similar to Gold Chip. They have these really weird, like, butterfly looking things. Like, they're not really butterfly joints, but they look kind of like the back part. You know, they look like someone's back where it has like these the butterfly part that sticks out. It just looks kind of weird, but it does help with putting the arms back so they look a bit more natural, but it still looks weird. And also, when she doesn't have the cape on, it kind of looks, this side here especially looks kind of too noticeable with that neck gap. I don't like that. I just wish they could have finessed the hair a little bit more so that it would cover more of it. Anyway, so she has two asymmetrical looking arms here. So this arm, it has light armor, so it's just the glove with the trim on it. Trim continues on the back, pattern goes that way, and then goes this way and gets cut off by the joint. And the gloves have a little bit of plating on them. Can I get that in focus? A little bit of plating on them. I think they could have panel lined that, they could have looked nice. And then for some reason the wrist joint is black. I'm not sure why. Wouldn't it have made more sense to make it silver? I don't know. And then the gloves are nice. Again, I think panel lining or just some kind of wash would have made it look better. Because you could bring out like the little details in the ridges, like on the knuckles and everything. But they chose not to do that. And then here there's a little bit more armor, which does get in the way. But you can see very simple, very, not chrome, but it's kind of like a bit of a shiny silver. It's kind of plain looking, it's okay. It does cover up a little bit. You can see right here. See, there's a different part here, and then it's different here. and then it goes to this big gauntlet. And they did keep the asymmetrical design, I think, from Saber, because original Saber had like a regular glove and then one that had like more padded armor on it. And they even kept the fucking kendo style glove that she has, which looks like an oven mitt. Speaking of oven mitts, it looks like an oven mitt. So this one doesn't have the fingers, but this one does. So you can see the difference right here. See the fingers? Yeah. Okay. So that's it for the arms. The waist has this cool skirt looking thing. And it hides the unitard that she's actually wearing. Because this is all... Sadly, this whole torso area is just lower torso, it's just all one thing. Because they attach these armor pieces to the skirt. But you can see, look, it's just one thing with no cut. Look at that. Anyway, so you can see they have these armor things here on the front. The skirt is a soft piece, but it's not as flexible as it should be. And also these hard plastic pieces get in the way. And then these things are soft plastic, but also are very restrictive. What else? I like that the armor kind of continues all the way. It's pretty cool. And then these back skirt things are like on a hinge. Kind of just... move this back. Kind of just flare out like this. So you can make them look cool. Even if they're just kind of eh. They do look a little dynamic. But it kind of only works with the cape. Okay, and then here's the funny thing. They sculpted a little bit of butt crack on the back of her skirt. I don't know if it's like Mio, where like they legit faked having a giant ass on her, but it looks like they actually did give her a butt. So I'm not gonna dock points off of her. Mio had a fake ass. The skirt made her look like she had a real butt, but she doesn't. This actually does have a butt, so. And I think this gap here is so the hinges can actually rest on it, which I think is the point. And then you can see right here, it's all like this really nice, like kind of dark blue. And the feather pattern thing continues here. You can see on both sides. And then whatever this is in the middle. And then you see right here, more trim. And then the gold trim continues on the skirt, it goes all the way around, so it starts here and then goes all the way around with the folds until it connects here where it creates this, they have this pattern that gets split, which is kind of weird, it gets split, but then they meet up right here in the middle and then that's it, because I guess it's supposed to technically be one thing, but they split it so it's easy to move it, but I don't know. And then the lower legs, okay, so here's a problem. With the articulation and the way this figure is designed, paint rub is inevitable. So I have paint rub, unfortunately, on my legs, on her legs. It's not too noticeable on this one, but there's silver paint from the armor right here. And this one has blue paint because of the fucking skirt. Like, imagine trying to have the figure kick forward, and then you get a bunch of paint rub. Like, that's so dumb. Anyway, same pale skin. Obviously you can see the line work continues even into the crotch area. And then the boots have their own like gold trim, which looks really cool. You see right here, continues. And since it's more three-dimensional because the boots actually are swivel, which I'll talk about later, but it actually gives it a bit more depth and separation, so that's cool. And then the armor on the side, which is identical in both. And then right here, you can see the armor plating. Like again, I think panel lining would help, because the black lines would help separate the armor more. Because in real life, I think you would be able to see the different like plates and everything on armor. It looks pretty good. I think it should be more reflective though. Oh yeah, see the pattern continues on the back, the line. And then that's kind of it, and then the shoes, the armored shoes look kind of basic. No toe hinge or anything. Also, they did what I kept saying about shoes, about heels. Look, it's flat. It's like pretty much completely flat. So that's why she has good balance. The only problem with balance is the knees, but like, the armor, knee pad look fine and everything, so. Okay, so with the... So her by herself, if you count the cape, I'd say it gets like a, I'm gonna say, I don't know, is 8.5 good enough or is it 9 good enough? I don't know. You know, with a 9, I'm gonna say 8.5 because it looks extremely clean. But there's some areas I think that could be improved. Because the shoulders are really like scrunched in, and I think if they spaced out the shoulders a bit more, it would look a bit more broad, so she would look a bit more like tough and a little bit more like commanding. Like, I don't know if that's accurate to like the way Takeuchi draws her, but I still think it would help. And the cape, even though it has some problems, I think it looks cool. And it does help her stand out. So with the cape, I'll say 9. Without the cape, I'll say like 8 maybe, because the cape does a lot to help with the look, even if the cape isn't perfect. And then with the horse, we'll talk about the horse now, I guess. This big boy right here. Is it a boy horse? I don't know. Anyway, and then this big guy, he weighs, well, not weighs, but he's about, he's easily like 7.5 inches, or almost 7.5 inches, which is pretty big. And then that makes him about, I'd say somewhere around 16 centimeters, just about 16 centimeters. That's pretty tall. And then width, I guess we have to do that for a horse. In terms of width, he is like almost 7 inches wide, I think. And then with centimeters, he's about, like, it's really hard to do this. It's an estimation. I'm gonna say 17 maybe. 16 to 17, I'm not sure how accurate that is. Maybe 18. And then obviously, I already showed you, but just put MILF Saber in front of him, or in front of it, and it's very large. So it seems like it's appropriately sized. I'm not sure, because it's 1/6 scale, so I don't know. But real quick, let's talk about the horse, the way the horse looks. It's kind of weird to talk about the horse. Okay, so the horse, damn. Okay, so the horse looks kind of neutral. It just kind of looks like a basic horse. It's a basic white horse. But it has all this really cool armor. It looks really cool, and it has detail here. You can see they painted the straps that go with the oh my god, I forget my horse knowledge. What is this? The reins. It has like this black color on the belt, which looks kind of like which matches the reins. It's almost the same color. I think it's almost the same shade of black, but it does work. And then he has extra paint right here on the neck. There's armor right here. This is a soft plastic, which is nice. And it has the same type of gold trim with blue that Saber has. And it has like this cool pattern right here. And then it kind of continues right there. His whole neck is armor plated. Sadly, I don't think they put a lot of articulation on his neck. Like, if he had a full neck with full articulation like this, he could just go around and do all these crazy like poses. But it seems like only his head poses. But I don't see much articulation on the neck, if at all. So I don't think there is anything there. Or if there is, it's just kind of blocked by all this heavy armor. You can see the spurs got stuck there. You can see like the saddle and everything is like this nice solid matte black, like grayish black, with the same like type of metal silver color they have for everything else. And then this fabric like, pattern for the horse does match Saber. You can see it's similar to Saber. And it has black, and then like a black trim right here, and then gold like for this part, and then a gold pattern right here, and then the same little feather things on both sides. It looks like they painted this horse, like actually painted the white. It's very clean white. So I don't know if it's just molded. And also you can see where the legs connect. If you saw the Arcanadia Elena, you know what I was talking about where I said like this part connects. But they did a worse job, I think, hiding it. But it doesn't really matter, you're not really gonna look at the bottom of the horse. What I don't understand... Okay, so what I do understand is that they have this hole here to hold the horse. But what I don't understand is why is there one on his butt? Where's his butt? Yeah, why is there one on his ass? And also, why is there a smudge right here on his ass? Did he shit on his ass? Probably not. It's not brown. It's like gray? I'm not sure where that came from, but why does he have a hole in his ass? It's a figure. It's not like an actual horse. I don't want to know why. Also, I don't know if it's a male or female horse because it doesn't have anything, so who cares? Oh shit! Look, they even painted the horse. They even added and painted the horseshoes. That's pretty dope. It's like silver. I feel like if it was gold, it'd be kind of cool, but also I guess wouldn't make sense. Yeah, so he has like plain looking hooves, no extra like fur, hair detail or anything, but they're very cool looking and very nicely painted and everything. The detailing on the legs, I guess they're good because, you know, I'm not a horse guy, so he looks like a muscular horse, so maybe he'll completely trample over people like Kokuo in Hokuto no Ken. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I do like the front chest armor, or chest armor, I don't know. The front armor right here, it looks really neat. Look at this. Kind of gives him like, not an imposing look, but it does make him look like he belongs to a king or a ruler. So he looks like he belongs to someone important. And then right here, you can see the reins. The reins are like this wiry black like plastic thing. I think it's just a black wire. I'm not sure. And the spurs right here are also black wire with a little plastic thing attached to it. So you can actually put her feet on it, I presume. And then the different plating right here still kind of looks a little simple. Like I think putting some black shading or something would really bring it to life. And then the horse tail looks really cool. I like how they did this. It needs shading, but the shadows and everything kind of do all the work for it. So it does look nice. And I don't think there's much else there. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. So visually, I'd say the horse, well, it's a horse, so I don't know. They did put a lot into this. Like, that's a lot of armor and that's a lot of paint. So I'll give the horse an 8.5, I think, because I'm not an expert on the horse. And also, are his eyes like dead inside? I don't know how horse eyes look, but aren't they supposed to be shiny? Doesn't really look very shiny to me. Okay, so not being a horse expert, I'd say 8.5 because this looks way better than the Griffith one, just by default. So he gets an 8.5 because it looks really damn cool, and I feel like it's gonna stand out when you put it on a display, so it looks fine. But if you put them together, then oh hell yeah, you'll probably get like a 10, not 9.5. Not 10, no way a 10. But we'll get a 9.5 if you combine everything. Okay, so we'll do that at the end. So for the articulation, unfortunately this isn't her best area. Her best area is definitely looks and accessories, but I'm saying that right off the bat so you're not disappointed like me. Okay, so for articulation, MILF Saber's head goes up like this and creates this ugly ass joint that's very visible. So don't lift her head up too much. Why didn't they just like finesse that and cover it more? I don't know. They did it with all their other ones. It's just so weird. Either it's not pushed in all the way, or that's just how it looks. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Anyway, and then she can tilt her head to the side like this. Not too much. A little bit like this. Whatever. And then looking down, the hair kind of is softened, but it kind of gets in the way. So she can't look down. Her head is a little limited, so oh well. Shoulders. Shoulders can go up. All the way up, pretty much. Look at that. That's great. Okay. Yeah, pretty much it can go all the way up. You have to you have to finesse it a little bit, but there you go. Pretty much goes all the way up. So that's good. This can go up and down. Just a little bit. So you can do a little bit more nuance. It's basically on a ball peg right here, you can see that. So that's nice. Ease of motion and everything, ease of use. But, unlike the Sophia Figma, she can't really bring her arms in. Like, the most you'll get is this. You'll just get straightforward range. And the armor on this one kind of blocks it even more. Yeah, there you go. So you kind of just get straightforward range, which kind of sucks. That's a bit unfortunate. It would have been kind of cool if she could hold a sword or a spear with two hands or something. Like, I know you don't really need to with a spear, but so that's a little disappointing. Going backwards, they're a little hindered because of the weird butterfly sculpt they did here. An actual back muscles or whatever. Okay, so the knee, the knees, the elbows on this one without much armor on goes all the way like this. It's above 90 degrees. 90 is about this much, just to give you an idea. And then it goes all the way up like this. So this is perfectly fine. They could have stretched this out a little bit more, so it would have more range, but it's fine. And then the wrist is on the standard Figma joint. So it kind of just goes like this, goes like that, and then goes up and down. It's a little limited, I think, because it's a little pushed inward. If you looked at the Figma gold ship, it has way more room, so that's why she can move her hand all over the damn place. Now for the chest, I'm sure that's the part everyone wants to see. So for the chest, it kind of just goes back like this. And you kind of get a slightly noticeable gap, but you can kind of hide that. Or you can just kind of show it from a different angle. Side to side is about this much. And about this much. Going forward, it can kind of go a little bit over the chest armor. But that's kind of it. And her torso is weirdly at an angle. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it looks like it's at an angle. Even though they kind of want you to put the chest like this. But it looks like it's at an angle, which is so strange. Look. Wouldn't this be the appropriate height? But I guess they don't want you to see this part underneath, so I don't know. It's so weird looking. Okay, so unfortunately, like I mentioned during the aesthetics, there is no waist movement here. Which is fucking lame. Because apparently they attached these side skirt armor things to the size of her hips, so you can't really move these hips anywhere, because this would have been the perfect spot to implement a ball joint, because then you could just hide it, so then all of this could have moved. And if you need an idea of what I'm talking about in terms of the torso, let's take a quick look at Gold Ship. You can just watch the review up here or whatever to look at it. But real quick, here's Gold Ship. If you have torso articulation, lower torso, you can go like this, see? And then go like this. See how useful that is? See how useful it is to just go like this? To just move this whole thing? See how nice that is? Yeah, you can't fucking do that with her. That's it. Look, this doesn't move. I'm trying to move it, it doesn't move. That was the first thing I noticed, it didn't move. So that blows. She has way less articulation than Gold Ship. And Gold Ship already had some limitations. Same thing with the shoulders, she had a similar problem with the shoulders. But how are we going backwards? What the fuck? This is such a problem. A lot of companies have a tendency, especially with model kits, to not even give waist articulation. Like, I hate that. It's a problem. Okay, so we have to unfortunately skip that part, but we can talk about the skirt. The skirt I mentioned are on these hinges right here. You can see them in the back. So they kind of go back like this. Kind of like Android 21's skirt. The SH Figuarts Android 21 lab coat. It kind of just flares out. Or I guess like some other ones like what was the other one? Like even the SH Figuarts Kazuya, like he has a skirt that flares out. So you can see it right here. It does look kind of cool, but you need the cape to really make it look cool. Otherwise it just looks kind of silly. Oh my god, the fucking white balance and everything's gonna disappear. Yeah, so that's kind of it. You can kind of adjust it, kind of tuck it in so she doesn't take up so much fucking real estate. But it's meant to just be flared out or to just, you know, be pushed all the way in. The legs can kick forward pretty well, but you have to take into account the fact that this torso is at a weird angle. Like, it's leaned back for some reason. It looks like it's leaning back. So yeah, this is 90 degrees, but I don't think it is. Because you can see, like, it's not 90 degrees based on, like, where the butt is. The butt is, like, curved this way, and it's not really 90 degrees. And the fact that the leg kicks out slightly, like, I'm trying to actually get it to be 90 degrees. But it's, like, almost 90 degrees, which kind of sucks. But you can still get her to sit down, so I guess it's not really a problem. And she will be able to sit on the horse, which I'll hopefully be able to demonstrate. So yeah, that's the thing. And then legs going out to the side. I feel like they're restricted because of this semi-hard, semi-soft like piece right here. So that's fine. So you can kick to the side like this. I don't think she'll be able to balance. I'll show you a picture because the balancing on this is kind of annoying on one foot, but yeah. This is kind of like SH Figuarts Vegeta range. Like, come on. Do I need to get Gold Chip again? she can kick better than this. And her skirt is arguably worse, I'd say. It has more like annoying things about it. So yeah, her legs aren't really the best, but kicking back, at least she can kick back. Not the best, but I feel like if you force it a little bit, you can kick back. And you get this ugly thing right here. Look at that. Ew. But if you just move the camera back and don't look at it and cover it with the skirt, there you go. So theoretically, I think she can kick about this much, which is okay. Not the best, not the worst, but hey, at least she can kick backwards. And would you look at that, I got more fucking paint rub on the leg just from kicking it. Oh boy. Well, that's kind of my own fault, but still, they shouldn't be designing these things if the paint is just gonna get all over the damn place. Oh well. You can just say it's like battle damage or something. Okay, so the other disappointing thing is the knees. The knees kind of just bend just over 90 degrees. Hey, look at that. You can even see it when the two legs are like really close to each other. It's almost like 90 degrees, like to the T. Like I think 90 is somewhere around here, and then the knees go slightly more than 90, which sucks. Why is it like that? You know what they did? They gave her like the world's smallest fucking joints right there. Look at that. Like the disc hinge is so fucking tiny. You need to have like giant ones there, or at least just put a normal fucking double jointed knee, like with Sophia and some of the other ones. But even Mio has more range. Like, and Mio is like, you know, like I guess you could argue like, oh, she has all this bulky armor, so, but like they've done it with bulky armor. Remember Samus? I did the Samus review. She had bulky armor and she had way better kicking range. Like, what is this? Did they not try with this thing? Did they figure like, yeah, it's a hot version of Saber, so people will buy it? Which is true. I did buy it, but man, I kind of miss that Samus now. And then the feet, they just kind of go like this. and then turn around like this. It is kind of an ankle rocker, but it's very kind of weird to get it to work. See, like, sometimes it doesn't want to go, so you can get this kind of stance, which is kind of funny. So you can get it to stand like this because you can have the feet angled in a way so that you can actually, you know, do splits or whatever. So there's that. And then real quick with the cape, the only real restriction is the shoulder, so I'll show you that real quick. Okay, and with the cape on, before we do the wiring of the cape, it restricts the shoulder, so you can kind of only lift the arms this much, which really sucks. Like, you can kind of try, like, if you pull it down and then lift, you can kind of get like 90 degrees, like straight to the sides. And for this one, you kind of can, but since this armor is in the way, you can't unless you turn it, so that really sucks. Like, it just gets worse as it goes on. Okay, and now for the cape. Also, this restricts the neck too, so you can see right here, the neck kind of just, like, this is still the same, and this is kind of the same, but see, now it kind of gets in the way of turning to the left, to her right, and then to her left. Like, the left, not so much, because I guess it's a thinner plastic, but this is much thicker, so it just kind of, like, see, you have to, like, literally tilt it. So you can't have her look directly to the side. It's kind of like she's looking up to the side, so it looks weird, but it still looks good. Like, nothing about her looks bad, I'd say. It's just that, like, I know it could be better, and I know it could pose better, but oh well. That's kind of a shame. Okay, and then the wire. The wire, I think, is stronger on the sides than it is, like, in here, like, on the bottom. So real quick, let me show you. It's like Rito's cape. So you can kind of just bend it like this, so you can get it to look like that. And then if you do this, so you can have it curl up a little bit. So that's fine. So it's not bad. And then it's split in the middle, which I assume is intentional, so that you can actually get it like this. So if you want, you can make it look really dramatic. Let's see if I can do that. So you can get it to look kind of dramatic, like she almost has wings or something. And then you combine it with this, and then it's like, oh shit, that looks pretty cool. But, you know, it's a little cumbersome and a little annoying, but I don't mind the cape. I've seen worse capes, so it's fine. Okay, so articulation, I have to deduct a lot of points for not having any waist movement, which is so bad. And 90 degrees on the knees, and paint rub and all this other stuff, and the cape making everything restricted, like on the shoulders, and the shoulders not going forward, not able to cross arms or anything. So I'll give her a 7, because I think even, what's her name? I think Special Week, the S8 Figure Special Week, if you looked at that video, that one can do a little bit more than this. Like, that's kind of bad. Like, that's like a $30 to $40 like horse girl, and then this is like a $100 fucking like premium figure, and the horse girl can still do more. Even the other horse girl that I just showed you can do more than this one. So, like, what's the price for? Like, is the price just because of the damn horse? Bought another horse? I don't know. So yeah, she gets a 7 for the articulation, because it's kind of basic, but, you know, nothing really is bad about it. It's just not impressive, especially for the price point where it's like over $100. Okay, real quick, let's do the horse articulation, since it's a little limited. Not sure how I'm gonna record this. Okay, so, oh my god. Okay, so the horse's head. Jeez. Okay, so the horse's head kind of just goes up, barely, kind of goes up, and then goes down. It has some tilt. It has a little bit of play, but that's it. It's so limited. And I think it can tilt a little bit. Like, wow, like what the fuck? Why is this so restricted? Here you can see that there's a cut for the neck, but I don't think the neck moves because of the armor. Yeah, that's not moving. Yeah, that's definitely not moving. So the neck doesn't move at all. The head barely moves. There's no mouth that moves, so you can't have him like with or alternate head where he can have his mouth open and have his tongue stick out or something. Okay, and there's, even though there is a cut here, hold on, even though there is a cut here in the middle, which would indicate that you could move this torso, you can't fucking move this torso because there's way too much stuff on it. And they just glued everything together. So the legs go like this. They actually go pretty far. Compared to the Elena? I'm not sure. Okay, so they go pretty far, so he'll be able to like jump down and, you know, do some dynamic stuff like that. The hinge, it doesn't even go past, it goes barely past 90 degrees. What is this? The fucking Elena can like double joint and have the horse legs bend all the way back so she can actually like sit down like the way a horse would. And at least, okay, well at least the hooves or the ankles can go all the way back and then fairly far forward, so it can actually do what a real horse can do, which is go all the way back like this. So that's fine. Not sure how much sideways movement is going to matter or going back, so going back it's like that, which is really tight joint. So you can go back like this, which looks silly, but you can go like that and then going sideways. This channel is not meant to review horse figures. This is not what I thought I'd be doing. You can kind of go out to the side, which is... I'm not sure when you're gonna do that, but okay. Not sure if horses actually do that. And then the tail, well, it's basically the same as the Arcanati Elena and the Una Musume, where it's got this ball joint hinge, ball hinge, and then it just kind of goes up and down like this. Kind of sideways like that, and that's it. I'm assuming it's already plugged in, so you can't really move it. So that's pretty much the tail. And I fucked up the joint. Okay. It has this little soft plastic thing that you can move, and then the reins right here, which are just like a wire. It's like a tape recorder kind of wire. It just kind of goes like that. It's free flowing, so you can make it look cool when she eventually grips it or whatever. And then the legs on the back. I guess all horses are designed similar like this. They have like this big gap here and the small crotch to allow for more movement. Because you can bring the legs inward, which I don't know what the purpose of that is, so that's the thing. You can kick them fairly far forward, not so much here, I think. Oh boy. That's not going. Or maybe it's already stuck. Okay, well whatever, it can kind of go forward, but it can go back a lot, which is great. I swear it's like uneven. Yeah, look, like there's more out on this side than this side, but whatever. So you can get him to stand up like this. That's funny. And I guess reveal more of his ass. I don't know. Can you see that? And then the hind legs go back like this, which looks fairly okay. But you should probably kick it more like that. No, I'm not a horse expert. And then you can bend them straight by bending them back. Bending them forward, they actually go almost all the way, which I assume is normal, because horses have weird legs. So that works. And then the back hooves, go back like this, and then go like that. So, okay, so in terms of horses, seems pretty good to me. It's just that you can't really move his neck. Also, he has a weird, like, joint tolerance issue where his legs don't seem to be strong enough to hold his back legs don't seem strong enough to hold his weight. See, like, now he's holding his weight, but it's like these legs in the back tend to collapse. So, okay, so for the horse, horses typically have less articulation, so I don't know, I'll say like 7.5, because you can't move the neck, you can't really move the torso. Whereas like this area here, like the Arcana, I'm gonna keep bringing that up because like it's such a better example of a horse. So you can't really kick these legs out to the side either because this armor gets in the way, but I don't know how useful that is. So both of them combined, I'd say like 7.5, not really 8, but 7.5 I'd say. Again, for the price point, it's kind of ridiculous that it can't pose as well as it should. So, yeah. Okay, so now, finally, we can do accessories. Okay, so MILF Saber comes with the following accessories. She comes with 3 faces. She comes with the stern face, the yelling angry face, and then like the smiley, like nice hot mom kind of face, I guess. And then she comes with 9 pairs of hands. She comes with 2 fist hands, 2 relaxed hands, 2 open palm hands, 2 grippy hands, and then an extra grippy hand that's like that's like bent vertically so that she can hold the spear like properly. She comes with 2 spears, like this cool green energy looking spear, and then like this yellow one that's like all spirally and it looks super cool. And then it comes with like these handles that connect to the spear so she can hold them. And then it comes with 2 figure stands for the DX version. It comes with 2 figure stands, so it comes with the regular sized Figma one, and then the giant one, like the hexagonal one, that came with Arcred and I think Guyver. And then it comes with obviously the horse, and it comes with 2 Figma arm stands, which is very important because one of them was loose, so the other one's better. And then it comes with a little solid clear peg for the horse, so that the horse can be held up in the air. So, okay, real quick, just numbering it. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because that's a really good assortment. And it also comes with an alternate saddle for the horse so that Saber can sit on it properly. You take the face off like this, just pull the hair slightly, tug on the face, just go like that. It's really easy. It's not like Demi-Fiend, which has a fucking death grip. And then you just put the angry face because she's tired of you staring at her massive fucking balloons. Like, damn, they're big. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and then for the hand, you just go like this, pull it out, and then use one of the appropriate spear holding hands. So I'll just use, I believe it's this one. So I'll just use this one, connect it. Yeah, so that's fairly easy. Yeah, and then you get this thing, and you get this thing for the spear, which has this really weird and interesting clear cylinder piece, which allows you to connect it to this thing. Because it has this very large hole right here, so you can connect it. So what you should do first, I recommend, is that you fit this into the hand. I wish they just made it so that you could just slip it into the hand, but you can't. And now she has a big stick that she can hit you with. Because you've been a bad person and you've been looking at her tits for too long. Or at least I have. And then what you're actually supposed to do is connect this really cool looking spear thing to this cylinder shaped thing here. Kind of just go like this. She has this really awesome looking weapon. Like, look at that. It looks really dope. And I believe she's strong enough to actually hold it. Yeah, see, it doesn't like bend the arm too much. So you can actually get her to hold it. Unlike Guts, who can't even hold his own weapon. So I gotta give them that. They actually have pretty strong joint tolerances on this. So those wrists are actually strong enough to hold the giant spear. Look at that, she can actually hold this fucking spear. It looks super cool. Okay, and then this one, cool one, this is the one I would use. if I displayed her. And if she didn't fucking touch everything, yeah, so I would use this one. You're supposed to connect it, I think, to this middle part. Okay, now it's not as loose, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be on this side, because these bumps help it stop it from sliding around. Okay, so you just grab this, connect it the same way, it's just that you have to try and hold it in a weird way, because these little fragile clear plastic pieces are kind of there. So you just kind of wedge it like that until you hear the click. You can turn the hand around, and then you reconnect it. So the same process as before, except now with a much cooler looking spear. Except maybe like balance problems. Wait, can I get her to stand with the cool spear? Holy shit. There's no trickery here. Look at that. She can hold it. That's so cool. But can she hold it like all the way straight? Oh wait, no, she can't because of the cape, but can she hold it like straight enough? And now the wrist peg gives way. Okay, so the big figure stand. First, connect the thing for the horse. Where is it? I think it goes this way. Yeah. So you connect this joint into the middle. Okay, so now it's solid. And then you peg it into the middle part of the horse right here. See if I can do that. Okay, so I kinda got it, but I think I did it backwards. It's not as strong as of a connection as I'd like it for it to be. But I think it'll be enough, I think, for the horse. Okay, that was way more frustrating than I thought. Now I need to find... okay. And now here's the alternate saddle. This back part you connect to the back of Saber, so that's all I have to do. Also, be careful, because when you disconnect the saddle, the spurs could potentially come off because they have these little holes, and then they could potentially fall out. Also, this thing does not stay on that peg. It's really annoying. Like, I'm trying to keep it in there, but it doesn't stay. I feel like Kotobuki figured this out. They're just making a really big peg. Okay. I think you have to connect Saber to this thing first. Sorry. So that's a very specific angle. Then you connect Saber to the back. Okay, now hopefully for the last part, where I can connect the saddle to the horse and have it not end in a disaster. Okay. Okay. Trying to put the finishing touches on this. Trying to connect the spur, not the spur, trying to connect the, oh my god, I forgot what this thing is called. The reins on the hand right here. Okay, I managed to connect it. You have to slip it through like the very slim opening right there on the weapon holding hand. And then you just kind of twist that around. That might be wrong actually. Okay, so this is extremely fucking frustrating to do, and I gave up with the peg that's supposed to go on the figure stand because it's too weak, and the horse's legs are too loose and too weak to handle all that fucking weight that he has, so I just gave up on it. So here's how Saber looks. So here's how MILF Saber looks with all that cool stuff on. See, look, I even got the hands to hold the spur, to hold the fucking reins. Look, this took a lot of effort to do. Please look at it. That's cool, right? Anyway, it's really rainy outside. Anyway, take a look at this. And here's her holding the big spear. And then that's it. So I'm really happy that I managed to get this to work. And I'm gonna give my final thoughts after I show you how Saber works with the figure stand by herself and how she can hold the weapons like in other dynamic poses. She also comes with a normal Figma stand, so instead of using the giant one for the horse or for something else, you can just use this. But I think it's cool they actually give you both because that means I can use it for other stuff. And of course, it comes with the angled peg right here. So you can use it for the same stuff as usual, and then you just connect it like that. I feel like I need to show that every time. But yeah, this works like the way you expect it to. Where you just connect it here. Okay. And then, just like I showed you on the horse, where the saddle or whatever is, you connect it to the back. So you just peg her like this. Oh, okay, that doesn't want to go. Okay, wow. Okay, I'll just use the other one. Why does that not work? What the fuck? This thing just continues to have problems. Okay, she looks really stupid right now, but let me fix that. Okay, something I'm noticing, the middle part right here, this joint is kind of weak, and it doesn't want to hold her. Look, if I lean it forward, it just flops. So in addition to, that fucking stand for the horse being worthless and not holding the horse, and the horse having weak legs, the stand doesn't even work properly. It's almost like nothing works properly on this figure, except for like how good it looks. But that's it. You can only look so good. Oof. Okay, now I gotta connect this, and then I'll show you how it looks like when she does like cool weapon poses. Yeah, so you can use the stand to support her a little bit, so you can kind of make her look like she's doing a cool pose. But it's so annoying to use the stand on her because for some reason the hole in the back of the figure has like a really weird, like tight, like spot, so it's kind of hard to get it to work properly. And then this hinge is really loose on the middle arm thing right there, and it's like, why? Like, you think it's supposed to be easy to use so that you can do cool poses. There you go. Now you can make her look more cool and dynamic. So you can have her like getting ready to stab you with the big spear. And then of course you can do like a really crazy spear pose if you know how to do it properly. So I'll try and do that real quick and then we're done. Okay, I'm trying to get her in a really cool, like, stabbing pose, like you can see. It just goes. So she does look cool, but it's also like, why is it such a hassle? So, okay, so overall, I think this figure looks good. It looks extremely good. And, you know, if you're paying attention to these puppies, then yeah, of course, they look good. Like, the face is clean, the paint job is super clean, the overall proportioning and everything's fine, and the accessories are really good, the stuff it comes with, and I like that they actually use cloth for the cape, even if it does look kind of cheap. And, you know, they went all in on the face and, like, the sculpt, but the problem is that the articulation sucks, and the horse that is supposed to be, like, the big, you know, selling point of the DX version is fucking horrible. Like, it can't support its own weight because its legs aren't strong enough for some reason. The stand that it comes with, like, you know, to hold it up so you can do like a cool like reeling or Napoleon sort of pose or something, like, you can't even do that. It can't bend its legs in the way that you want it to, so you can replicate that kind of pose. And if you want it to look like it's leaping over something or running or whatever, like, you can't really get that done. So that kind of sucks. And of course the articulation and the range on MILF Saber is just above, like, just average at best, not even above average. Like, no waist articulation. It can do splits. It can't really go forward. It can go forward like 90 degrees, but then, like, the problem is that you get paint rub. This has a severe paint rub issue, especially on the legs. The elbows don't really go that far. The arms can't even go across the chest, even without the cape on. And the torso has range, but it's not really useful because this torso, the lower torso, the waist, is already like pre-built and it's like leaning back. So when you lean it forward, the upper part, it doesn't really work. So it's just kind of pointless. So the figure always looks like it's leaning back for some reason. And then if you try to straighten it out, it'll just fall over because of its own weight. So it's like so dumb. So I don't know, to me this figure is a fucking disaster. Like, it's not a complete disaster because it still looks amazing, but that's the problem. It only looks good. Trying to actually pose it like an action figure is a problem, so... If they just made it so that you could remove the skirt, and it had like some kind of way to stick to it, like with a magnet or something, and then you can hinge like the skirt flaps or whatever, it would have been a home run. They literally just needed to put her in the fucking leotard, and then just make the skirt like an attachable piece. Like, it would have been so easy, but they made it part of her body for some reason, and it ruins the aesthetic in some areas, like, and then it makes it impossible to move her because, like, she has no waist movement. Like, that's such a baffling decision, I don't understand it. And the CL Figma from Tsukihime has a lot of similar problems to this thing. Has a lot of better range in some areas, but it also has the same problem where it looks fine, but then when you try to pose it, it's just a mess. So, yeah, this thing is way more trouble than it's worth, and I don't think it's worth the asking price that it's going for online. And online it's like going for like 150 plus, like some places like Big Bad I think had it for almost 200. And it's like, no, don't pay that, don't buy it. Don't, unless you really just want MILF Saber so you can just put it on your shelf and never look at it, never touch it again, just buy the regular version. Like, it's not worth buying this deluxe version just to get the fucking horse. Like, just get any generic horse figure and you're good. No, here's the better idea. Get the horse from the Arkanadia Kotobukiya model kit, just build the horse girl with the big tits and then just put her on top of the horse. There you go. Much better solution, don't even bother. So, yeah, I'm being real harsh on this because I gotta give it like a 5. Like, yes, I got it on discount for like half the price, but like that's the only way I recommend you get it, if you can get it for the half price with the horse. If you don't want the horse, well then try and get that regular one at half price, because the only real extra thing you get is the fucking horse. You don't get anything extra for her. So what's the point? So yeah, that's turning into a rant. Okay, well, whatever. So yeah, that's it. See ya.